Welcome back. Welcome back to Mindset Matters. I'm Sarah, and as always, it's a pleasure to have my co-host Mike here with me today. Always a pleasure, Sarah, and today we're really digging into something fundamental, quality of life and its inseparable link to cultivating a truly strong mindset. Last time we touched on it, but we felt there was so much more to unpack.
Absolutely. When we talk about quality of life, it's easy to jump to external factors like wealth, status, or material possessions. But I think the real secret, the long-term sustainable secret, lies much deeper within our internal world and how we process our experiences.
I couldn't agree more. For years, I chased what I thought would improve my quality of life. Bigger apartment, fancier car, more exotic vacations. And while those things offered temporary highs, the underlying sense of contentment often remained elusive. It was a wake-up call, realizing that genuine quality of life isn't just about what you have, but how you feel and perceive what you have, and what you do with your time.
That's such a crucial distinction, Mike. It's about perspective, isn't it? And that's where the strong mindset becomes the bedrock. If your mindset is fragile, even the most seemingly perfect external circumstances can feel overwhelming or hollow. Conversely, someone with a resilient mindset can navigate significant challenges while still maintaining a sense of purpose and even joy.
So let's dive into some practicalities. When we talk about building this strong mindset, what are some of the key pillars or practices that you found most effective in your own life or through the stories you've heard?
For me, a non-negotiable has become self-awareness. It sounds cliche, but truly understanding your own thoughts, emotions, and triggers is the first step. When you know why you react a certain way or what truly brings you joy versus what you think should bring you joy, you can start making conscious choices. For example, I realized that endless scrolling on social media wasn't bringing me joy. It was creating comparison and anxiety. Acknowledging that was the first step to changing the habit.
Oh, that's such a profound point. Self-awareness is powerful. Building on that, I'd say emotional regulation is key. It's not about suppressing emotions, that's a recipe for disaster, but learning to acknowledge them without letting them hijack your entire being. Like, feeling frustrated is okay, but letting that frustration spiral into a full-blown rage that ruins your entire day or even your relationships is where the strong mindset helps you intervene. Practices like deep breathing or simply naming the emotion you're feeling can create that vital space between trigger and reaction.
Yes, that space is everything. And connected to that, I think, is acceptance. Not resignation, but acceptance of what is, especially when it's outside your control. The weather, other people's choices, past mistakes. Ruminating on these things that you can't change is a huge drain on mental energy and chips away at your quality of life. A strong mindset allows you to say, okay, this is the situation. Now, what can I control? What's my next best step?
That's a really powerful distinction. Acceptance versus resignation. Resignation feels passive and defeated. Acceptance feels like a starting point for active problem solving or adaptation. And speaking of active, another pillar for me has been intentional action. It's easy to drift through life, letting things happen to you, but a strong mindset encourages you to be the author of your own story, even in small ways. Setting small, achievable goals, whether it's learning a new skill, starting a new hobby, or even just planning a healthy meal, these acts of intentionality build a sense of agency and purpose.
I love that. Intentional action. It's about agency. And it feeds into what I call micro wins. We often wait for big, grand successes to feel good about ourselves, but celebrating those tiny daily victories, sticking to your morning routine, having a difficult but necessary conversation, learning one new word in a language, these accumulate. They build self-efficacy and confidence, reinforcing that you can do hard things, that you can make progress. Micro wins are underrated. They create a positive feedback loop. And what about when things don't go as planned? Because life inevitably throws curveballs. How does a strong mindset help us navigate those moments, maintaining a decent quality of life amidst adversity? That's where resilience truly shines. It's not about avoiding pain, but about how quickly you can bounce back. One key aspect I found is having a strong support system. Knowing you have people you can talk to who will listen without judgment or offer practical help is invaluable. You don't have to carry every burden alone. Building and nurturing those relationships is a critical investment in your quality of life and your mental fortitude.
Absolutely. Community and connection are huge. And on a more individual level, I think self-compassion is vital during tough times. Instead of beating yourself up for making a mistake or feeling down, treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you'd offer a good friend. It allows you to process the difficulty without getting stuck in a shame spiral. And paradoxically, that self-compassion often makes you stronger and more capable of finding solutions.
That's so true. The inner critic can be brutal, and often it's far harsher than any external criticism. Taming that inner critic is a lifelong practice for many, but it's essential for maintaining inner peace and thus quality of life. Another powerful tool is reframing. When something negative happens, instead of immediately labeling it as bad or a disaster, asking yourself, what can I learn from this? Is there another way to look at this situation? What opportunity might be hidden here? It's not about ignoring reality, but about actively seeking a more constructive perspective.
Reframing is a game changer. It shifts you from victim to active participant. And to bring it all back to the daily grind, it often comes down to daily habits. We are creatures of habit. If our daily habits are consistently depleting us, too much screen time, poor sleep, unhealthy food, constant negative news, then our quality of life and our mindset will suffer. Conversely, intentionally building habits that nourish us, like movement, healthy eating, reading, learning, spending time in nature, even just 10 to 15 minutes a day, compounds over time and makes a big difference. It really does. It's the small, consistent efforts that create big changes. And understanding that quality of life isn't about peak experiences every day, but about finding contentment and meaning in the ordinary. It's about how you approach your life rather than what exact circumstances you find yourself in. Precisely. So if listeners are feeling overwhelmed or like their quality of life isn't where they want it to be, what's one immediate actionable step you'd recommend they take to start building that stronger mindset?
I'd say start with one small act of intentionality today. It could be dedicating 5 minutes to mindful breathing, truly savoring your next meal, or sending a genuine thank you message to someone. Just one small step to remind yourself that you have agency and can choose to cultivate your inner world. And I'd add practice gratitude, even for just one thing right now. Look around you. What are you grateful for in this very moment? It immediately shifts your focus and starts retraining your brain. Wonderful advice, Mike. It's clear that this journey of improving quality of life through a strong mindset is deeply personal, but also universally beneficial. And it's an ongoing process, not a destination. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining us on this deeper dive into mindset matters. Until next time, keep cultivating that incredible mind of yours.